right, let's talk about the Jumpstart Coalition's 6 standards for financial literacy. Jumpstart was founded in 1998, and it is a U.S. nonprofit coalition of national organizations seeking to advance the financial literacy learning in the United States. And their standards were published. They're the first known national standards in 1998. And you'll see them up on the screen. They talk about spending and saving, which is where we're going to start, credit and debt, which is tracking with our course for the second chapter, employment and income, talking about career plans. Chapter 4 is investing. 5 is risk management and insurance, and their standard 6 is financial decision making. So these standards are mixed in throughout the course to help you become financially literate. So in 2007, when we had the credit meltdown in the United States, President George Bush put together a committee, and they set out the standards for financial learning. And those you will see in the background area. So that brings us to our day 1. So day 1, we'll be talking about saving and budgeting in this chapter. And we will focus in on making a budget, saving, and some tools to help you do that. Day 1, if you look at the slide, talks about the warm-up. Motivation gets you going, but habit gets you there. And we all need to consider forming good saving and budgeting habits. So here we go. This is where we're going to start. So I mentioned before that each chapter has learning objectives that starts us out. So that's going to give you a better understanding of where we're going with each chapter. And the first chapter is the warm-up. Motivation gets you going, but habit gets you there. And nothing is more important than the habit of saving and getting in the habit of designing a budget and checking your spending against that budget. Those learning objectives are going to have you develop a budget as we go through chapter 1. Now, why are we talking about budgeting and saving? There are so many instances, statistics, and I have provided just a few of them for your review on pages 12, 13, 14, that lend itself to us getting in gear and starting at an early age to save our money, whether it's your babysitting money or your car wash money or your lawn mowing money, or if you already have a job, you are going to want to put a certain amount of money away out of each paycheck to help you save for your future. Because as statistics show, in 2018, Forbes talks about a survey, shows 44% of Americans cannot cover a $400 expense, an emergency. And 33% of Americans have zero saved for retirement. And there was a FINRA study done in the same year, 2018, that said only 34% of Americans could answer a 5-question financial survey completely accurately. We are behind that 8 ball and want to get stepped up. Now, before we get too far into it, you're thinking, what is financial literacy? And on page 16, you see those financial standards by Jumpstart. And There's also on page 15, the Jumpstart Coalition's financial literacy definition of financial literacy. The ability to use knowledge and skills to manage one's financial resources effectively for a lifetime of financial security. You know, I started at age 16 saving. What was I saving for? I was saving for some braces. My family could not afford to go out and purchase braces for me. So I had a job, and I gave my dad $10, $15 a week out of my paycheck. He added a little to it, and I was able to buy my own braces. I also saved for my first car. Put that in a separate savings account. You're saying, man, this girl, I had to save if I wanted to buy something. You know, my parents, they did what they could. They didn't have the money. We didn't have furniture in our living room, but that was okay. So at age not quite 18, I took my $200, and I did have a job and a roommate, and I left to make my financial world appear. And that was the beginning of putting together lessons that I learned along the way, what to do and what not to do. But they all started right there with the budget and saving. We didn't get this information, statistics show, in our education curriculum in school. And when did we start hearing about some of this financial information? Well, let's see, in about 1737, Benjamin Franklin put out some financial tidbits. And a little later, 1849 to be exact, James Gilbert, he gave us some banking tips. Now, the schools opened in 1635 or thereabouts, but financial curriculum was not part of their teaching. Very few of the states are graded A's, and there's there's a sheet in the book that shows how many states are graded A, B, C, and D for doing a good or a fine or a fair job in providing financial information to our students. So we're starting here. We're going to put together a budget and learn about some saving techniques, and I hope you'll take them to heart.